And on 96.1 FM, digital radio in Hampshire, Freeview Television Channel 722, BBC Sounds if you search for BBC Radio Solent, and if you ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Solent, you'll get Eastleigh against Dover Athletic at the Silver Lake Stadium with Wayne Shaw and Tom Murray.
Thank you very much, Jordan. A gloriously sunny afternoon here at the Silver Lake Stadium. FA Cup fourth qualifying round action as Eastleigh take on National League Southside Dover Athletic. On paper, this should be fairly simple for Eastleigh. They're doing all right under new boss Richard Hill, sitting 11th in the National League table, whereas Dover Athletic have just the one league win to their name so far this season and sit second from bottom in theirs. But Wayne Shaw, this is the FA Cup and anything can happen.
It certainly is, mate. It's a one-off game and no pressure for them. The pressure is on us being at home, and it's a free hit for them.
Let me just take you through the two sides. As they line up on the pitch in front of me. In goal, it's number 1, Joe McDonnell. George Langston, Corey Panther making his return from injury. Ludwig Francioletto and Oscar Rutherford form the back four. Chris Maguire, Jake Taylor, who captains the side, Charlie Carter, Enzo Baldovine, and Paul McCallum up top with Scott Quigley. For Dover Athletic, Billy Terrell in goal on loan from the Cherries Bournemouth. John Oyenuga at right back, Charlie Naylor and Jacob Mensah in the middle, Peter Odgerman at left back. In the middle, Paris Locke, who has impressed so far on loan from AFC Wimbledon, James Dunn, Henry Young, Archie Hatcher is one to look out for, Zidane Sutherland and Nick Dembele up top. Your referee this afternoon is Paul Johnson. He's already taken charge of 4 matches so far. The season was actually in charge of Eastleigh's goalless draw against Wilston back in August. Handed out 8 yellows during that match, so maybe one who's not card shy as we go into this match. And we're going to get underway in just a moment. Eastleigh are going to be shooting from left to right as I look down. And live on BBC Radio Solent, we're underway in the FA Cup as both sides looking to make it into the first round proper, as Quigley has it up towards the edge of the box, and that's dealt with at the back as Dover hit it back up over halfway. What are you expecting from Dover this afternoon?
I'm expecting them just to get a high press on early doors, and I think it's one of them. If they can get a goal, I think they might try and sit on it and be in a way, but hopefully we'll have too much for them today, Tom.
One ball played down the left-hand side in search of Sutherland, but he's going to let that rolled out of play for an Eastleigh throw.
They seem to have set up the same as us, mate. Three centre-halves, 2 wing-backs, and it looks like they're trying to cancel us out straight away.
Hatcher down the left-hand side. He's won himself a free kick on this near touchline. Jake Taylor, the man bringing him down inside the first 30 seconds here at the Silver Lake. I have to say, it's a great crowd and really good away following from Dover away to our right. They've brought quite the numbers.
Yeah, they're up on the right-hand side in the top corner there. Yeah, there's probably best part of 100 of them, mate. So yeah, they're good effort from them.
Hatcher, just 18 years old, but already put on set-piece duties. He's going to loft it into the penalty area, and that's actually a fairly poor delivery from the youngster, and goes straight into the arms of Joe McDonnell. Bowls it out towards the left-hand side for Rutherford, who's in a makeshift left-back position this afternoon. He receives a 1-2 down the left channel. He's got space ahead of him. He's up against Oyenuga, cuts into onto his right foot, crossfield ball towards the other side of the penalty area to Baldovine, up against 2 men. Lines them up on the edge of the penalty area, back onto his left foot. First time ball into the box by Maguire, quickly trying to turn, edge of the box is Carter, shifts it to his right, shoots, blocked. Paul McCallum, can he get on the loose ball? No, he can't, and Dover Athletic get it away over on that far side, and I think Rutherford is going to keep it in play, gets it away from the attention of Nick Dembele. Yet to score this season, Nick Dembele, despite 7 appearances since joining from Aveley for Dover, but goals have been hard to come by for the Kent side. Henry Young in the middle, tries to dink it over the top, and just as I say that, Dembele's in a foot race at the back, but Donald comes out, hits it right up into the sky, towards this near side. Francioletto in a bit of a tussle, doesn't win a free kick, and Dover have it in possession on this near channel. Lovely outside of the football, down the left-hand side to Sutherland. And on his right foot, he just about gets a touch from the defender, still on this near side, and Baldovine's going to come and mop that up and hit it up to Maguire towards halfway. 0-0 live on BBC Radio Solent, 96.1 FM, Hants DAB, online and on the BBC Sport website. Lofted ball over towards that far side in search of Rutherford. He's not going to win that as it's hooked over the shoulder onto the foot of Sutherland, and across comes Jake Taylor just to get it back to his goalkeeper Joe McDonnell.
It's not a bad start from us, Tom. Obviously, it's 3 minutes in, and a great run from Rutherford down the left-hand side, and a good crossfield ball, ended with a shot that was blocked. So it's set the stall out, and hopefully we continue this.
Carter shapes away from his man nicely down the left-hand side, approaching the edge of the box into Quigley, 30 yards from goal, into the middle of the Dover half. Now to Chris Maguire, lofts it towards the back step. Quigley couldn't quite get there with his left foot. Lovely idea there from Chris Maguire, just to sort of loft it diagonally towards the left side of the 6-yard box. In came Quigley, but the ball just evaded him. 0-0 live on BBC Radio Solent. 3.5 minutes gone here at the Silver Lake in the FA Cup. Eastleigh, should they go through, they'll be balled 70 in the draw for the first round of the FA Cup. That's tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 on ITV. Wayne, I know we're only about 4 minutes gone so far in this match, but should they get through, anyone in particular that you'd like?
Yeah, I think Portsmouth away, mate. That'd be a good one. Any side like that, mate, it'd be fantastic away day for probably the supporters that have been loyal to us through the years, and you know. But like you say, sometimes you can have a lesser side, but the pressure's on you. So it's a one-off, it's a free hit, and
Rutherford crosses it into the box. It's headed over towards the far side, dealt with by Dover, but you see have a throw down by the corner flag on that far side. Yeah, definitely mixed reactions when I was speaking to Spitfires fans earlier, whether they want an easier tie for a chance to get to the second round, and maybe even for the third round, where the big boys, the Premier League sides and the Championship teams come into play. But you know, Eastleigh away, Pompey away, or Pompey at home really in the first round. That's definitely going to be on TV, you'd imagine.
Yeah, you would have thought so, mate, definitely. And but who knows? Let's get through today first.
Early stages of the first half here at the Silver Lake. Long throw into the penalty area for Eastleigh. Bounces over Langston, and it's just got away on that far side by Hatcher. Another crossing opportunity into the box. Header up in the air by Langston. Out comes Terrell and claims it well in his full yellow kit with black socks. Terrell, 20 years old, on loan from Bournemouth. Played every game so far this season. Conceded 22. No clean sheets so far. Actually just born down the road in Southampton.
It's local for him then today, mate, and hopefully he concedes a few more and don't keep a clean sheet.
Bouldevine, diagonal ball in search of Paul McCallum on the edge of the box. That's going to go away from the Eastleigh number 9 and out harmlessly for a goal kick.
To be fair play to a club like Dover, taking him on loan and giving him the experience as well. And you know, it's what kids need nowadays is a run of games and see what they can do. And you know, I hope he does keep a clean sheet in his next game, but not this one.
It's interesting, I remember when Ben Foster started off at Manchester United and was loaned up to Watford in 2006. They had a terrible season, but he said it was one of the best learning experiences, being in a side where you're getting hammered every week, shots coming in, because you only learn from experience. They're not quite sure how much you're going to learn if you were at Manchester City, as Quigley just collects the ball on the edge of the box on that far side. Back to Rutherford as Eastleigh come forward, and Rutherford's just held on to the ball too long and had the ball nicked off his feet by Paris Locke. Crossfield pass by Dover onto this near side. Zidane, Sutherland trying to get it through to Dembele in the middle. Dembele wasn't making the run, and it goes through to McDonald.
I remember Nick Pope, mate, playing in non-league. You know, he played and didn't set the stall. I think somewhere like Tooting and Mitcham and things like that, mate. And then he gets a move, and let's say the rest is history. The lad's gone on to represent his country, and he's top job at Newcastle now.
Maguire,
what he'd done at Burnley.
Crossfield ball to Rutherford. That's a poor touch, and it goes out of play for a throw on that far side. Just shy of 7 minutes gone here at the Silver Lake in the FA Cup, live on BBC Radio Solent. 0-0. Terrell would have got a decent experience last season as well. He was on loan at Weymouth. Of course, they just about survived in the National League South. Actually played against Dover on the final game of the season, beating them after, I think it was just 3 games to go, 7 points off safety, and they managed to pull it off. And Dover actually escaped the drop by just 2 goals.
Wow. That's not what you want on your CV, really, but you take it for game experience.
Absolutely. Well, he's certainly getting that at Dover Athletics so far. As I said, played every minute of the season so far. Jake Taylor just wanting options. Quigley's come short for it. Round about the centre circle. Tries to get away from a couple of men. Maguire trying to find Bouldevine down the right. It goes over the head of Ogyman, but hits the shoulder of Bouldevine, and that sort of didn't quite know where he was as Ogymen tries to bring it down the left hand side, but his ball forward is intercepted by Francioletto. Maguire, who's wriggling away in the middle, and Corey Panther is able to get a touch on the ball. Great to see him back out on the pitch. First start since February this year. Always nice when a player comes back from injury. There's a ball over the top in search of Maguire, who puts the thumbs up. It's a bit too heavy, too much on it, goes into the hands of Terrell. But nice idea there, straight through the middle. Chris Maguire making the run, then no one tracked him.
He's pulling the strings at the moment, Maguire, and he's involved in everything we do again. So he's a forefront, and he's the one that can score goals as well now.
Boldavine and Taylor combining down the right, but Dover have it in possession. They hit it forward. Langston chests it down on halfway, just about flicks it forward. It's over the head of Quigley, and Dover hit it first time into the middle, but that's only collected by Carter, and he feeds Rutherford down the left hand side up against John Oyenuga, the former Spitfires fullback. Lovely feet from Rutherford, gets the ball in the box, and it's cleared by James Dunn. Very experienced central midfielder Dunn, coming back, joined from Welling in the summer. 10 appearances so far, already has a Dover goal to his name in the 1-1 draw with Braintree back in August. Former Exeter and Pompey midfielder James Dunn, so he's certainly familiar with these parts of the world. Quigley just holding off his man, left corner of the box, so in comes a sliding challenge, but again Maguire in the heart of things, wriggling away, edge of the penalty area to Quigley, can't get the ball out of his feet, and he'll be back with Oyenuga in the Dover defence as he feeds it down the right hand side to Paris Locke, who's impressed so far in his loan spell from AFC Wimbledon, into Hatcher, the 18-year-old, who's also been getting rave reviews. Down the left hand side to Ogymen, the Nigerian, gets the ball into the box, and that's a poor cross. It goes past absolutely everybody and actually goes out for a throw midway inside the Eastleigh half on that far side. 0-0, 10 minutes gone.
We seem quite comfortable, mate, on the ball as well as off it. We seem well drilled, and the boys are knowing their jobs at the moment.
Carter, nice little Cruyff turn there from the Eastleigh midfielder. He certainly is trying to look like Jack Grealish, and that was the kind of skill that Jack Grealish himself would have been proud of, as a flat pass across the pitch by Rutherford. It's poor, and Ogymen will collect it. Now into the middle to Hatcher, who just about avoids a shoulder to the face from Jake Taylor. 18 years old, he's got to get used to that sort of play, especially in the middle, and someone as experienced as Taylor. Already in the middle of the park, just exchanging a few words. That's going to be an interesting battle. Hatcher, considering himself very skillful on the ball, almost in the sort of frame of Carter, likes to get the ball and then wriggle away from people as quickly as possible. One to look out for, I'm sure. Oyenuga now on that far side, on halfway, trying to get away from the attention of Carter. Carter does well to win that, but the ball down the left hand side is to absolutely no one but Jacob Mentzer, who gets it back to Terrell in the Dover goal. Eastleigh have been comfortable so far, but now Dover have a chance to just have a bit of possession. Oyenuga down the right hand side to Locke, approaching the edge of the Spitfires penalty area, skips away from Rutherford. Is the touch too heavy? Rutherford just about sees it out of play, and that goes out of play for a goal kick. But
to be fair, Tom, Rutherford for us, he's small, but he's very quick across the ground. Don't see a lot go past him. He's a great defender, and he's got a great going forward as well, a great engine on him.
As was shown when he got that assist for Paul McCallum's second goal against Kidderminster just a few weeks ago, when he had that run down the left-hand side, lovely little shimmy before the ball in the box that McCallum, well, I'd say headed home, but that seems to be his typical finish at the moment. As you've mentioned, McCallum just wins that aerial battle in the Dover half, but it's in the centre circle with Maguire. Quick on it is Sutherland, but Maguire, the Scot, gets the ball out of his feet, and Eastleigh just playing it across the back to Panther, trying to get away from the troubling Dembele, who is just harrying ever so slightly. Just shy of 10 grand for the winners today. The losers still get something, just over 3 grand, which is not to be sniffed at, but you're going to be wanting that 10k and a place in the first round. That draw tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 on ITV.
To be fair, mate, the FA Cup is for the players and really the supporters. It's great for the coffers for the football club and any non-league club. Any money's coming in at present is grateful. But again, the FA Cup, it's a fantastic competition to be in.
Well, it's the memories that are created, isn't it? As Boldavine and Quigley gets it into the penalty area down the right. Here goes Quigley towards the byline. Cross is blocked. and cleared by Dover up towards halfway, where Dembele is just tussling with Panther, goes down, wins the free kick, just shy of halfway, left of centre. But you're completely right, Wayne, it's those memories like that 3-1 win at Swindon. You know, okay, you may have got 10, 15,000 for winning that match, but to have that forever in your history, you go to a League One side as a National League club, and you play them off the park, as Ronnie Moore said after that match.
Yeah, definite, and like you say, it is memories, and you know they sit with you. And hopefully this season we can go one better. You know, as long as the draw's favourable, and you know, a lot of sides nowadays take this competition too lightly, and you know, I know it's big squads.
I have to stop you there as Rutherford's won the ball well. He's got McCallum to his left, bottom. He's still going. Rutherford into the box, shoots over the bar. What a run by Oscar Rutherford. McCallum is furious that he didn't pass to him to his left. As Rutherford, little shimmy on the edge of the box to his right, and from about 18 yards he just hammered the ball just over the crossbar into the crowd behind him. First proper chance of the game goes Eastleigh's way. 14 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yeah, mate, he's been our best player so far. He's defended well, he's got forward, he's put a couple of crosses in box. He should have hit the target there, mate. It just snatched at it, really, just hurried it, and Paul McCallum was free just on the left hand side. He just could have squared through and would have been a tap-in, but great run.
Saw himself in the FA Cup headlines tomorrow morning, did Oscar Rutherford. You can understand after getting himself in that position not to pass, but on the possession now is Paris Lock. Waits for Oyenuga as Dover come down that right hand side. Exchange of passes in the middle. Odgerman now gets it on the left hand side, trying to get away from the attention of Baldovine. Ludwig Franchaletta comes across, hits it off Odgerman for a throw on this near side, but Paul McCallum absolutely apoplectic that he didn't get the pass there, just punching the ground. Although, to be honest, when you've got that many goals so far this season, you're not going to take those opportunities going begging lightly.
No, definitely, mate. I don't think he could have headed it in from where he was. It would have been
he would have still tried. Roll it across the line, and of course he'll be chomping at the bit, having missed the Hartlepool match, not being able to affect that game, as Maguire, lovely outside of the boot crossfield pass to Rutherford. He's now up against Oyenuga. Cuts inside into Carter, edge of the penalty area. Still has it, Carter makes his way in the box, left side. He's got Maguire short if he wants him, and the Scot plays it out towards that far side. Rutherford 25 yards from out, trying to work a shooting opportunity. It's blocked on the edge of the penalty area, comes back out to Taylor, 35 yards from goal. Franchaletta on this right side, knocks it forward to Baldovine. He's got Odgerman for company, back to goal. Franchaletta's making the underlapping run, but Baldovine loses possession now, and down the left hand side across comes Taylor, and I have to say the ball is only about a row below us, Wayne. That was quite a close one.
It's good hands for the big man in front.
Smiles from Richard Hill on the far side. It's a decent throw from the fan actually in front of us, almost gets it down towards the touchline. There we go, back on the pitch. I
thought he could have put a bit of weight behind that, mate. It was a bit short.
We'll tell him at half time that he needs to put more effort into that one if it comes back his way. I was commentating with Jack Smith for the Ebbsfleet game about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And that one, so many balls went over the stand on that far side. I think we're into match ball number 6 at one point. I think 3 were gone in the first half alone.
In the epical town. It's not as big as this stand though, mate, is it? So
no, we'd be doing well. Maguire 30 yards from goal, into McCallum, edge of the box. Tries to feed it back to Maguire, he falls on the floor, and he's won himself a free kick in a dangerous position, just right of the D, right on the edge of the penalty area. And I think after last weekend, spectacular strike from Chris Maguire up at Hartlepool, it looks like the Scot is going to be the only man behind this one.
Mate, to be fair, last week it was wind against as well, and it's worth the 5.5 hour journey just to see that free kick last week, mate. And if he can reproduce this like he'd done against Aldershot, and you know, similar position but on the other side of the penalty area.
4 men in the Dover wall. Corey Panther is over this, but I think Chris Maguire is surely going to tell him to get lost. It's literally half a yard outside the edge of the box. Whistle goes up. Maguire shoots towards that top corner, and it goes harmlessly over the bar, and the chance goes a begging 0-0, 17.5 minutes gone.
Not one of his better ones, mate.
I know I probably shouldn't back him up here, because he is a professional footballer and should be hitting the target from there, but is it one of those that are maybe a bit too close?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, mate. Yeah, he was definitely, it was only a yard outside the 18, getting it up and down, but it seemed to sail wide, that one.
Remains goalless in this FA Cup fourth round qualifying tie between Eastleigh and Dover Athletic, live on BBC Radio Solent. We've already had an upset today. Southernly Bracknell, they knocked out National League side Dagenham and Redbridge in the early kick-off, 1-0. And although Dover sit precariously near the bottom of the National League South table with just that one league win to their name, shows that the magic of the Cup is still alive, and Eastleigh do not need to take this game lightly. Maguire shapes one way, then the other, gets away from the attention of Henry Young. And Henry Young just latches onto that loose ball, but it only goes as far as Baldovine. In the centre of the Eastleigh half, Quigley takes the ball to his right corner of the penalty area. He's got men up against him. Ball into the box, Ogerman gets onto it. Maguire picks up the loose pickings. There's a bit of a tussle in the box as Dover just try and get it away, and Peter Ogerman does get it up towards halfway, but Francioletto collects it immediately. Baldovine trying to get away from the challenge of Dembele, and Eastleigh will play it across their back four over to Rutherford on that far side. He's had the best chance of the game so far. Midway inside the Dover half into Charlie Carter. Those low socks, no shin pads, edge of the box, the ball into Quigley. Tussle in the middle. Too much on that challenge from Quigley on James Dunn.
He's got to sort his first touch out. Quigley's first 3 touches has gone straight to them. Not the greatest control. He needs to get on his toes and get his first touch right, mate. Otherwise, you know, this game's going to be a long game.
Yeah, he needs to just trap the ball better, but we have seen him improve his game in that department over the last few matches. That lovely little fake shot and then just putting it into the top corner against Ebbsfleet. He can do that. He does have it in his locker, but at the moment it's a fairly poor start to the game from Quigley. He's not getting the control on the ball that he wants, as he'll cut inside from Baldovine. First time ball down the right channel by Taylor. Quigley puts his thumbs up, but he was never going to get that. Goes all the way back to Billy Terrell in the Dover Athletic goal.
Once he scores, mate, that gives him his confidence. His first touch will be a lot better then.
You're right, every time he does score he seems to be a completely different player. He's very much a confidence player, Scott Quigley, and if he can just roll the ball in, even just, you know, off a thigh or his backside, then he'll start playing like prime Brazilian Ronaldo. You just wait and see.
Ronald McDonald at the moment.
I can see the face paint from here. Lofted ball down the right hand side in search of Hatcher. He's found a way into the penalty area. He's got Paris locked for company if he wants him. Reverse pass almost goes through the legs of Rutherford, but Eastleigh have it in possession down by their dead ball line. Up towards halfway, long ball in search of Maguire. Roger Men wins that one. And the header forward from Eastleigh is just going to be easily collected by Terrell and Charlie Naylor. Diagonal ball trying to go over the head of Baldovine and find Zidane Sutherland. The offside flag goes up, and any danger for Eastleigh is gone there. Dover getting to this stage of the competition after 2 victories over lower league opposition. Hastings United in the first round. They're actually 3-0 up against them by about 20 minutes ago, but won the game 3-2 after a fairly hectic last 5 minutes, and I'd have to say that would be a very nervy end to the game after being in such control, giving away a penalty and then conceding another straight after. Then Haringey Borough were the opposition in the third qualifying round. Beat them 2-1, had to come from behind as well in that game. Baldovine trying to line his men up on this right corner of the box. Shapes onto his left foot, edge of the penalty area, dinks it into the box himself, deflection. Dover get it clear up towards halfway. Dembele's not going to win that against Langston. Corey Panther will just knock it back to Joe McDonnell. No clean sheet in his last 8 games. He'll be looking to keep one today.
Definitely, yeah, that's a long time to go without a clean sheet, but he's been at the forefront of things that, you know, important saves at important times.
Ball to McCallum in the box. Quigley will pick it up, tries to get it into the penalty area, pull it back. It's a dreadful pass and goes straight into the grateful arms of Billy Terrell. He just couldn't get the power behind it that he wanted. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do. He was knocking it towards the front post, but there was nobody there, and he's not going to beat the keeper at that angle.
I think he miskicked that, mate. I think he's tried to hang it up back stick for Paul McCallum, and he just got it all wrong.
4 goals to his name this season, Scott Quigley. Got 3 assists as well, so certainly contributing to other areas of the pitch, and He gets the ball out to Maguire, just on halfway towards this near side. The Scot tries to feed it down the right channel. Odgerman gets a foot to it, and Spitfires will have a throw midway inside the Dover half on this near side. 23 minutes gone live on BBC Radio Solent.
To be fair, Tom, you can't knock his work rate. He works and works and works.
That is a very high foot there from Archie Hatcher. If he'd got any connection there with Chris Maguire, he would have been very, very lucky to escape a booking there. It didn't really seem that he had any control, but referee hasn't picked up on it just yet, as Dover on the far side of the pitch bringing it over halfway. Ball into the face of the area, comes back to Oyenuga, back to Locke, down that right side, lines up Rutherford, and the tricky winger dinks it into the box. It goes over a couple of heads. Needs to get it clear to about 20 yards out, and now Francioletto collects possession into the middle. 5-yard pass to Maguire. He's been everywhere so far this game. Crossfield ball in search of Rutherford, who just about keeps it in play. Feeds it to Carter down the left side. He's got space ahead of him. He's going to cut back onto his right. Ball into the box. Front post. Quigley's header. McCallum hits the bar.
Offside.
And the offside flag goes up. It was a stooping header from Scott Quigley. McCallum reacted well at the far post, and he just got too much on it as it struck the bar. It might have even had a touch off Terrell. If so, that's a fantastic save. It wouldn't have counted for anything. As the flag was raised, it remains goalless here. 24 minutes gone, 0-0. Certainly no cobwebs on Paul McCallum so far reacting to that one, but they're knocking on the door, Eastleigh. They just haven't broken through. And just before that, someone with a Vauxhall is in a little bit of trouble with their parking, I'd say. The magic of the cup, eh, Wayne?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to own up to a Vauxhall Corsa, mate, to be honest. So there's no one gone down to claim it.
No one rushing as far as I can see.
I see you turned up in your Radio Solent car today, Tom.
Can only go for the branded vehicle. Cross down the right, deflection from Dover, and they've won the first corner of the afternoon. 25 minutes gone.
Was it all electric, mate, what you pulled up in today?
No, I'm afraid that's a diesel one.
Oh dear, that's no good.
But we've got an electric car now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's parked up, it's not moving, but we've got one.
Can't afford to charge it.
I don't have enough AA batteries on me at the moment, mate. Hatcher, ball into the box. First chance for Dover, hangs towards the front post. Header goes up. The referee's deemed there to be, they're coming together. The Dover gaffer, Mitch Brundle, just put his arms up in dismay. He couldn't quite believe that one.
That's what we got. Paul McCallum, he's good in both boxes, mate, isn't he? So, you know, he's won the ball there, and let's hopefully he can win a couple in the other area and get on the end of a couple and score one.
Rutherford on halfway, feints to go inside and does. Carter just shy of the centre circle to Ludwig Francioletto to his right, brings it forward. He's got space ahead. Richard Hill just wants him to keep carrying the ball. Baldervan down the right, onto his left foot, cuts inside, ball into the box, and such McCallum at the back post. It's well headed away by Mensah to take it off the head of McCallum, and Eastleigh will have a throw on that far side. It actually, does it come off a Spitfires man last? No. It will be an Eastleigh throw.
I think the referee gave it the wrong way there. He's given it to them, but
he was looking quite sheepish there.
Yeah, the linesman helped him out.
The linesman on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the guy who's closer there has got it wrong. Maguire's come short. He's been involved in absolutely everything so far. Reverse pass, Carter's first time ball in search of McCallum on that far side. Doesn't find him. Dembele sporting the top knot this afternoon. Hasn't quite helped him control the ball so far. On that far side, Young in the centre of the Eastleigh half tries to feed it down the right hand side towards Sutherland. He's going to try and beat Francioletto, who's come across, and gets it out for a throw on that far side. Nice little ball there from Henry Young. Academy graduate's already got 5 starts to his name this season in his first full year. He's already been looking to get as much of the ball as possible as Paris, Locke and Rutherford just tussle on that far side. Panther in the penalty area will hack it clear up towards halfway. McCallum's not going to get to that. He goes out of play for a Dover throw on halfway.
We look bigger and stronger as well, mate, don't we? It's we just need to take care of the football. Joe McDonald's gone down. I think they might be getting a few bits of information on, and he'll want to tell them how to go.
Well, just shy of the 28-minute mark here at the Silver Lake, live on BBC Radio Solent. FA Cup action, 4th qualifying round. Both sides vying for a place in the first round proper. That draw taking place at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. Eastleigh, if they were to get through, will be ball 70. Pompey, a possible tie, certainly the one that you want, Wayne, there, ball number 36, as Eastleigh just looking to get a bit further in the competition after being dumped out in the last 2 years by Boreham Wood.
Yeah, that's what happens, mate, isn't it?
Ladies and gents, the Vauxhall Corsa, which
Another
black in colour, is still in
the Vauxhall Corsa still hasn't been moved.
We have to get the tow truck. The registration.
They're now talking about the tow truck. Oh, it's going to be an embarrassing afternoon for that person. Let me just check. Nope, it's not me. Certainly would be a bit awkward if the BBC car was seen towing away. How am I getting home?
The tow truck will be called in 10 minutes.
Well, that tow truck is actually going to be called in 10 minutes' time. So far in this half, that could be the most exciting thing to happen.
That is the highlight of the half so far.
I see there's an abandoned car right there.
As I've said before, the magic of the cup as Joe McDonald's back on his feet. We're going to get back underway. It is a Dover throw on that far side. 29 minutes gone on BBC Radio Solent, 0-0.
When's the replay?
It's a good crowd this afternoon, what with Saints, Cherries and Pompey all not in action. There's well over, I'd say, about 1,200 fans here this afternoon, and
I think that was a ploy, Tom, just to get a few instructions on to the lads. You see a few sides do that at certain times in the game.
You say it's a tactical injury there from Joe McDonald? No,
definitely.
To be fair, he's had not really much to do, so maybe he wasn't particularly happy with the colour of his studs or something like that. I want a green one. Dover Athletic boss Mitch Brundle. He's only 28. He's actually the youngest manager in the English pyramid at 28 years old when he was appointed, just beating Ryan Mason, who was put in temporary charge of Spurs a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Maybe no one else wanted the job at Dover.
You could say that, but I have to say it's not the best record for Brundle so far. Just 7 wins out of 33 in charge, and 5 of those coming in the league, and 2 of those in the last month alone in the FA Cup. So
he's earned the club a few quid in the FA Cup.
Exactly. You can't turn your nose up at that, as Eastleigh win their first corner of the game over on that far side as Chris Maguire goes over to take this. I wonder whose head he's going to be aiming for with this one.
We need a midfielder to score a goal or something as well, or a defender, don't we?
Let somebody else have a turn.
Yeah.
Messrs Quigley and McCallum are in there. Franchiletta's come up from the back. It's a low ball towards the front post. It's poor. Goes all the way out to Carter, 25 yards out. Tries to skip away from Henry Young, and Eastleigh are going to have to go back. But 30 yards here is Maguire. Edge of the box will let loose, and it's a good save down to his right by Terrell. A nice shot in anger there from Chris Maguire, about 25 yards out, left of centre, good right-footed shot, and it was a good double-handed save by the young Dover keeper.
Not a lot of keepers hold the ball nowadays, do they? They push it out and push it back in the third phase, really. We just couldn't get on the end of it, but yeah, good save.
Well, despite the nice weather, there was actually about a 10-minute period of rain here earlier on. I couldn't quite believe it. It was one of those where rain on one side of the pitch, bliss sunshine on the other, but that goal was underneath it. Maybe it's a bit wet. Come on, let's give him some due.
Yeah, give him some due.
Hey! Didn't even mean that one, but you know, I'll take it. I will take it.
Can't believe you're having that.
Any win, really. It is the FA Cup. It's a good. There's a couple of young supporters down below us who've got the foam hands. I'm surprised no one's brought the tin foil FA Cup so far. I know it's the 4th qualifying round, but you've got to be in it to win it.
You certainly have. That might be in a couple of rounds' time.
Hatcher just tries to turn away from Jake Taylor. Couldn't quite believe that he didn't get anything for that, as Eastleigh just knocking the ball around at pace. Carter on this near side, Boldevine touching field, now into Maguire, who can bring it away from Hatcher, down the right hand side, tries to scoop it away from James Dunn, who lunges in. Dover still have it on this far side, but across comes Boldevine, comes off him last, and it will be a Dover throw on this near side. A couple of them, apart from those chances for Rutherford and for Maguire, no other real clear-cut opportunities for either side. I'm yet to note anything down for Dover themselves. A lot of shirt pulling in the middle there. Carter just tries to hit it over his shoulder forward, but Dembele with his back to goal on halfway doesn't win that one. That's an aimless ball by Langston down the right hand side, and Odgerman is going to just let that go out for a throw. Odgerman signed from Margate earlier this season, received his marching orders just a few matches into his Dover career in that 2-2 draw at Bath City. I mean, despite their precarious league position, in the league they've got a couple of decent draws in their last 2 matches. Drew with Taunton, who were top of the league when they played him, and Bath, who were 3rd in the National League South when they met. So despite just the 1 victory so far this season, in recent times those results will certainly give any side confidence, but they've just got to build on that if they want to get away from the drop zone.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously they can score goals, but they concede a fair few, mate, as well, don't they? So
Zidane Sutherland, the top scorer so far with 4. There's a high boot in the middle from Henry Young. Now be a Spitfires free kick on this near side. Paul Johnson just having a word. Last time he took charge of a Dover game, back in 2022, 2 games. They lost 1-0 to Altrincham in 1 defeat and drew the other one as the header forward by McCallum is picked up on the edge of the box. He was trying to find Scott Quigley. Now Dover will get it forward down the left hand side. That's a nice ball to Sutherland. Flag goes up and danger's over. 35 minutes gone, 0-0.
He's just called him by his name, Zidane, and now he's just booked him. I find it funny, you know what I mean? There was nothing in that.
Well, he's the first player to go into the book. Let's hope that he doesn't do what his namesake did and headbutt anyone.
Straight red.
Ball forward, flicked on by McCallum, leaves a foot in. Carter picks up the loose ball on that far side, tries to get away from Oyenuga. Ball into the box towards the back stick, claimed well by Billy Terrell, who hits it quickly up over Francioletto, who's headed it behind himself. Zidane, who's just gone in the book, will keep it in play. Will he? He doesn't, but the last touch did come off an Eastleigh man, and it'll be a chance just to Dover to get the ball up the right end of the pitch, maybe launch something into the box. No real shot on goal for them so far, but they're holding their own against Eastleigh at the moment. Young and Odgerman just trying to combine. Zidane, that's a poor ball in search of Odgerman, who was making that run. The Nigerian just battling with Boldevine and Maguire down the right side, and the ball comes forward to McCallum, who's able just to chest that down and recycle possession. Langston, diagonal ball over towards the far side, picked up by Rutherford, touches it nicely away from Oyenuga in the middle of the park. And Eastleigh just having a bit of possession at the moment under very little pressure. Langston, that's a really aimless ball by the centre-back. It's really poor, no one was making a run, and after having the ball they've given it straight back.
I think we've just got to take care of the ball, mate, at the moment. We're not, our first touch is not the best, especially when receiving it up top.
Well, the longer the game goes on being goalless, the more of a chance Dover will think that they have, and Eastleigh and the supporters will start getting a little bit desperate, maybe a bit of annoyance in the crowd that on paper Eastleigh should be winning this game comfortably, but the longer it goes on without that first goal, as Odgerman leaves in his feet, and I think he's going to be the second one into the book. He is. Applause from the fans all round for that one. He's pleading his case to Paul Johnson, but I don't think he can have too many complaints there.
No, definitely. Studs up, wasn't it? He knew what he was doing. He just went down the calf of our number 11.
Enzo Boldevine there on the receiving end of that challenge, but another chance to get the ball in the box. Chris Maguire on this far side and opts to go short. Francioletto 30 yards from goal towards the edge of the box. Boldevine right of centre, shapes to his right and dinks it towards the back post. Maguire heads it, McCallum heads it up towards the edge of the boxes. Taylor shoots and it goes wide. It was sort of a half volley, skimmed it with the outside of his right boot, and that was always taking the ball away from goal. it's another sort of half chance for Eastleigh. Ever since that Rutherford run in on goal that he hit over the bar about 10 minutes into the game, it's been a couple of shots from range, but nothing really to force Terrell into any close range saves.
No, not close range. Like I say, he made a good save right hand side from Maguire, and you know, Chris has been involved in everything we've done really.
Paris Locke just trying to turn away from his man, but can't quite do that. Charlie Carter and Taylor exchange passes back to McDonnell, under pressure from both Sutherland and Dembele. His ball forward is collected by Young in the middle of the park, running towards the edge of the box. Henry Young feeds Locke down the right side of the box. He's still in, he shoots, and it hits the stanchion, hits the face of McDonnell and goes behind for a goal kick. And that's really the first shot on goal I have for Dover, and it's 38 and a half minutes gone, 0-0.
Missed target, but you know, give the ball away again. It was we've gone back to Joe. We didn't really need to, and his left-footed clearance was picked up in behind us and one shot, but he didn't have to make a save.
Goal kick up towards midway of the Dover half as McCallum flicks it on. Maguire flicks it out to his right. Carter down the left-hand side of the box for Rutherford into the penalty area, and it's cleared out by James Dunn, who's he's playing quite deep at the moment for a central midfielder. He's coming back as sort of a third centre-back at the moment, as another ball into the box. A search of Quigley, heads it up, and out comes Terrell to claim well under very little danger, no pressure. And so far, the half for him, he's claimed a few crosses quite well, made a fine double-handed stop. And for a player of his age, 20, on loan from Bournemouth, and conceded 22 goals so far this season, he'll be pleased that he's had a fairly uneventful first half at the moment, as a ball is almost slipped through to Quigley, and across comes the challenge of Dover, getting it out towards this near side. Odgerman tries to throw himself in, and the chance for them to take this one quickly. Eastleigh, Boldevine, Quigley, edge of the box is Maguire, onto his right foot, back onto his left, plays it across the edge of the penalty area to Carter. Shooting opportunity for him in the penalty area, out towards this near side he goes, cuts back, Boldevine, they can't quite get a shot away at the moment. Maguire into the box, and it's a poor ball, and Dover now can bring it away. And they might have numbers forward. It's 3-on-4 here for Dover. Oyenuga down the right hand side, poor ball in search of Dembele. He puts out his arms pleading for a better pass, and Eastleigh will have it once more in the centre of their own half. Corey Panther, great to see him back on the pitch. First start since February. Came on for a couple of minutes against Hartlepool in the defeat last weekend. Always nice to see someone come back from a long-term injury. Down the left now is Rutherford, bringing it inside. Quigley, 25 yards from goal, edge of the box. Boldevine crosses it in search of Rutherford and McCallum. McCallum's got a couple of hands in the back. Is he wanting a penalty? Nothing doing. It's going to go out for, I think it's another Spitfires corner on that far side. Don't think there was really much going on in the penalty area to warrant a penalty there.
No, definitely. Let's hope Maguire can get a better ball in.
Yeah, first corner of the day from Maguire was very low and barely beat the first man at the front post. He'll be hoping for a better delivery.
Especially with our height in the box now, is you know, we should be getting on the end of this.
In comes the ball towards the front stick. Strong punch by Terrell. Really strong hand to that, up towards halfway. Henry Young trying to get away from Jake Taylor. Pokes it out towards that far side. Dembele tries to keep it in play. He does well, but in the end only pokes it as far as Chris Maguire, who's been tracking back. Lofts it down the left-hand side. Are Eastleigh going to keep that in play with Quigley? They can't. And the move finishes, and we're just approaching the 42nd minute here in the FA Cup live on BBC Radio Solent. Goalless.
Huffing and puffing, mate, ain't we?
There've been no real passages of play like consistent for a few minutes. At the moment, you wouldn't think there's too much of a difference between the two sides, certainly not a division difference at the moment. Dover have conducted themselves well and managed to they've got a good defensive shape so far. Dover been quite compact. Eastleigh have struggled to really break it down, but at the moment Eastleigh just haven't really been punished because they haven't been able to make it stick up top. Dover has been shown in the National League South this season. The top scorer has only got 4 goals. Zidane Sutherland is a nice right-footed ball down the right side in search of Quigley. He's got options in the middle if he wants him. Dinks it into the box. Comes to McCallum, edge of the penalty area. Turns, shoots, blocked. Edge of the box now, it comes to Maguire on the volley, turns it back onto his left foot, shoots, a deflection, hits the post, bounces over Terrell, they get it clear. Quigley now, up against his man on the right side, towards the byline. He's got Maguire short if he wants him. Left-footed ball into the penalty area, headed up by Odgerman towards Taylor, who knocks it back into the penalty area. A bit of head tennis going on, and it comes back out to Archie Hatcher. Down the right channel in search of Dembele, but across comes Corey Panther, and Eastleigh looking for a foul on that far side.
Deflected onto the post there, mate, wasn't it? But we actually we looked like we could have taken the lead there, but just unfortunate. It's hit the lad on the, it blocked in front and over the keeper and on the off the post.
Dover did really well there, just sort of to harry the Eastleigh forwards. As like there could have been 5 or 6 attempts there to actually get a shot on goal, but they never quite worked the angle. Charlie Carter trying to feed it through to Boldevine. Odgerman's pass is dealt with well. Down the left-hand side, a chance for Naylor to get away from Quigley. He's had a push in the back and wins himself a foul just on halfway. Just shy of half-time, about just over a minute of normal time to go, although with extra time this season I'd expect maybe 25 minutes of added time. Might as well just play the entire replay in the additional time that's given. But yeah, that's the closest Eastleigh have come. Rich Brundle just barking out a few instructions, sporting the baseball cap this afternoon. Former Cheltenham midfielder. Odgerman down the left-hand side. Poor touch by Sutherland, and Eastleigh will have a throw. What have you made of the first half overall, Wayne?
Comfortable. Again, it feels like a pre-season game, mate. There's not a lot going on out there, and it just seems to be there's nothing to play for.
Yeah, neither side really taking the game by the scruff of the neck, although it's with Hatcher. Scored a cracking free kick against Taunton. First time on free kick duties at professional level. Oyenuga will shoot from range, and
great save.
McDonnell makes a fine stop away to his right, goes out of play for a corner, and the former Eastleigh fullback John Oyenuga with a shot from about 30 yards low forced McDonnell into his first save of the afternoon, as we have 2 minutes of additional time here. We're into those now. Corner on the left, ball into the box towards the front stick, headed across. Charlie Naylor will collect on that far side. He's going to let that roll out of play. He is, and maybe opt for the long throw. Oyenuga is trying to come short. Does throw it short to Captain James Dunn. Back to Naylor. Ball into the penalty area towards the front post, easily gathered by Joe McDonnell. Do Eastleigh have one more chance in them in this first half? Boldevine racing towards halfway, skips away from 2 challengers, away from Odgerman. He's still going, Boldevine, up against Young, feeds it to Quigley, left side of the penalty area. Quigley with the shot, low, and it's wide. Best chance of the afternoon for Eastleigh goes begging for Scott Quigley.
Great run from Enzio.
Similar to that run that he made, what was it, against Halifax just a couple of weeks ago, where took it from the edge of his own box, got away from 1 challenge, 2 challenges, 3. Then he got his head up, did really well just to find Scott Quigley in space, left of the D, collected it on his right, shifted it onto his left foot and just had too much of a drag on it. And Billy Terrell let that go harmlessly wide, but Eastleigh coming close to breaking the deadlock in the FA Cup as we enter the final 30 seconds here in the first half at the Silver Lake. Bit of head tennis going on in the middle. Henry Young heads it forwards to the feet of Dembele, turns away from Langston. Maguire picks up the loose ball in the middle. To his left is Carter. This will be the final chance of the half, surely, for Eastleigh. Down the left to Oscar Rutherford, away from Oyenuga. It's forcing him back up the touchline. Carter still going, about 30 yards from goal. Feeds it to Quigley in the penalty area, left-hand side. Shielding onto his right foot. Maguire, 30 yards from goal, will shoot, and that's gone well over the bar. Ironic cheers behind the goal, and that'll be the final action of the half here at the Silver Lake, and it remains goalless in the FA Cup 4th qualifying round between Eastleigh and Dover. On paper, Eastleigh have had the better chances so far, but Dover have held on at the moment, had a couple of chances themselves. Oyenuga coming closest from about 30 yards, forcing Joe McDonnell into a fine save. You would have seen that late as it came through bodies, but at the moment Wayne, I wouldn't say there's too much. You can't really see that league difference at the moment.
No, they've come, they sat in and they looked at us on the break, and yeah, like I say, it come alive in the last 2 minutes, really, or the 3 minutes of the added on time, 2 minutes added on time, and they've had a great shot, great save, and then Enzio's done what Enzio does, and gone down the right hand side, played in quickly, really touch out of his feet, and really probably snatched a little bit with his left foot. Have we really tested the keeper? No, their keeper's made one good save, and then so has Joe. So, yeah, all in all, it's just really playing in front, keeping the ball, and we do look bigger and stronger. And really, as the game goes on, the hardest thing is for us to do is, if we come out and score early, then the pressure's on them.
What needs to change in the second half?
Mate, as the game goes on, obviously the longer it goes on, the better for Dover. But I just think we've got to be a bit more clinical in front of goal and make the keeper work. I think if we hit the target, we test him, then we get some joy.
Well, it is goalless so far in the FA Cup. Both sides vying for a place in the first round proper of the FA Cup. The likes of Portsmouth, Derby in that draw. That draw takes place tomorrow afternoon, 3:30. Eastleigh will be ball number 70 in that one. They've looked comfortable so far, Eastleigh, this afternoon. They've had the better chances. I think biggest chance for me so far, I think, has to be Oscar Rutherford, and he really should have passed that one. Yeah,
Oscar, like you say, he was in front of goal, only the keeper to beat, but again, he's probably he's snatched it. He's gone more for power than placement, and he's flew over the bar without making the keeper make a save. But again, he's earned the right to be there, and everything's open up for him.
Thank you very much, Wayne. So, goalless here at the Silver Lake, half-time in the FA Cup fourth qualifying round, live on BBC Radio Solent Sport. Get your thoughts in, Spitfires fan, into Jordan on Twitter at Solent Sport, now called X. You can get in touch on the text 81333. Start your message with the Solent on WhatsApp as well. But here in the FA Cup, Eastleigh so far goalless against Dover Athletic. Second half to come with myself and Wayne Shaw.
This is BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Your headlines on this Saturday afternoon then, in the fourth even qualifying round of the FA Cup. Still waiting for the breakthrough in both of our games. So 0-0 at the Silver Lake Stadium between Eastleigh and Dover. Same scoreline at the Snow Stadium as well. AFC Tottenham against Ramsgate. But Tottenham have got their goalkeeper to thank for that scoreline.
Attacking down the left wing, attacking well with Green, who goes down. It's a penalty given. The tackle in the penalty area on Jordan Green leads to a penalty to Ramsgate. Ramsgate could have the first goal here unless Noyce is the hero. Joe Taylor penalty, runs up, saved! Straight at the goalkeeper. Lewis Noyce keeps it out. Still 0-0.
Second half commentary to come from Eastleigh and Totton. We'll get you back to the two grounds as soon as the players are back out from the changing rooms during the half-time break. We'll bring you the scores from elsewhere in the country this afternoon and the rest of our local non-league sides in action today on this international break. I'm going to give you a chance to hear from Andy Cullen as well, the Pompey chief executive who spoke to Andy Moon earlier this week to give him an update on everything that's happening at the moment at Fratton Park. That's on the way for you on the home of live sport across the south.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
On the latest edition of Stereo Underground from the BBC, we've got gig stories, requests and alternative anthems like these. Wednesday night at 8 on BBC Radio Solent, or anytime you want by going to BBC Sounds and searching for Stereo Underground.
Jordan Clark.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
And we're with you through until 6 o'clock this evening. Second half commentary to come, then an hour of post-match reaction as well between 5 and 6. And then from 6 o'clock, Leo Ulf takes over on BBC Radio Solent to bring you Upload. There is another chance to hear BBC introducing Solent with Fern Buckley from 8. And then at 10 o'clock, it'll be Joe Good to guide you through the rest of Saturday night and into the early hours of Sunday morning. Right, just coming up to 5 to 4. Let's bring you the half-time scores from elsewhere then. In terms of our local non-league sides in action today, Weymouth find themselves a goal down at home to Tunbridge Angels in National League South. In the Southern League Premier Division, Poole Town 1-1 away at Basingstoke. The Dolphins fell behind in that game, but equalising. Winchester City 2-1 up against Hamwell, I think is the latest scoreline I saw. And Gosport Borough are 0-0, the league leaders in the Southern League Premier Division. They are goalless away at Salisbury at half-time. In fact, the Winchester one, I've seen it the wrong way. So Hamwell, apologies, City fans. Winchester City are 2-1 down at home to Hamwell at half-time. There was a late goal for Hamwell at the end of the first half in stoppage time to make that 2-1 to the visitors. In the Southern League Division 1, Bashley 0-0 away at Evesham, and Wimborne Town cruising against Bristol Manor Farm, 3-0 up already. Baker with a brace, and there was a goal in there for the former Pompey youngster Jez Bedford for the Magpies as well this afternoon. In European qualifiers, into stoppage time, Ukraine 2-0 up against North Macedonia. That, of course, in England's qualifying group, Group C. Italy play Malta in that one later on this evening as well at 7:45. Italy, of course, taking on England next week. You've also got Northern Ireland 3-0 up against San Marino in Group H as well. Again, into stoppage time, that one. Your other games, Bulgaria-Lithuania, that's Group G. That's a 5 o'clock kickoff. Also in that group, Hungary hosts Serbia at 7:45. Another 5 o'clock game in Group H is Slovenia-Finland. And then in that group at 7:45, Denmark take on Kazakhstan. Into League One, Blackpool 1-0 up against Stevenage. Not many games. Most have been postponed due to international call-ups, including Portsmouth's away at Northampton. But of the ones going ahead, Blackpool 1-0 up against Stevenage at the break. Cambridge and Shrewsbury are 0-0. It's Carlisle 0, Leyton Orient 1 at half-time, and Lincoln 0, Burton 0. And in League 2, the early kick-off finished Notts County 1, Mansfield 4. Your 3 o'clock games, Wimbledon and Bradford's goalless. Crewe are 1-0 up against Tranmere. Doncaster leads Sutton 1-0. Forest Green Rovers 1, Colchester 0. Grimsby and Accrington Stanley are goalless at half-time. Stockport lead 1-0 away at Harrogate. And MK Dons are 2-0 up at home to Barrow. Swindon 1, Newport 0. Walsall 2, Gillingham 0, and Wrexham 1, Salford 2. There was actually a game postponed in League 2 due to international call-ups as well, which you don't see very often. Morecambe and Crawley. I'm not sure if it was Crawley or Morecambe who have got all the international players in their squad, but that game not going ahead today. Right. Let's give you a chance now. In fact, I should also bring you up to speed with what happened in the cricket as well. The World Cup, India-Pakistan. Pakistan were bowled out for 191. India cruising to victory by 7 wickets, chasing down the total inside 30 overs. Oh, sorry, just over 30 overs, India, to get that victory over Pakistan in that match between the two out in the World Cup in India. And at the Rugby World Cup later on, you've got Ireland-New Zealand at 8 o'clock in the quarterfinals, and getting underway in the next couple of minutes, Wales against Argentina. England playing their quarterfinal tomorrow at 4 o'clock against Fiji, and France-South Africa will complete the quarterfinal ties at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So we'll keep you across that Wales-Argentina game once it's underway. Right, Solent Sport with Jordan Clark, just ticking towards 4 o'clock. So let's give you another chance now to hear some of Andy Moon's interview that he did with the Portsmouth Chief Executive, Andrew Cullen. Spoke to him on Tuesday night about a wide range of topics. Here's a little snippet for you.
Andy, here we are, early October, top of the league. Obviously, dare I say we've been there before, but it's a very good position to be.
Yeah, I think it is. I think we're all very mindful that it's early days. There's a long way to go still. So, we're keeping our feet very, very firmly on the ground, right throughout the football club, from the first team right through to all the staff behind the scenes. But it's nice to see smiles on everybody's faces, particularly on supporters, who really deserve some success. But we're very, very mindful. It's just the start of the season. There's a long, long way to go still, and we've got to keep looking at where we can improve, where we can move forward. I think we probably all feel, as even being in the position we are, there's probably a couple of points that we've left behind us that would have made a little bit of an even bigger difference to where we are. But no, following what was a very challenging September, to come through that top of the table, to go into the international break after Saturday's game when we had a few bigger players missing, is also very, very encouraging, and I think sets us well to go forward into the next set of fixtures before coming back after the international window and into the next one in November.
John Messino's appointment obviously certainly surprised a lot of people. Do you think a wider group are seeing what you saw in him back in January now?
Yeah, I mean, we conducted a very, very thorough process, and we were determined to do so. It's a really, really big appointment for Portsmouth. I think, we wanted to perhaps break the mould a little bit, and sometimes it's very difficult to do at football clubs because, you tend to sometimes go for the more conservative options that might be available to you. But we had a very, very firm set of criteria. I think I set that out right at the very start when we announced John's appointment. And when we, looked at that criteria, we looked at the type of individual we wanted to come into the football club. Obviously, somebody who could demonstrate real leadership qualities, which John was able to exude when we interviewed him, and that was very, very apparent. He's got a pedigree, obviously, as leading the PFA. He'd been captain of a number of different teams throughout his career. Very, very well thought of at Oxford United as well. So it was something which was came through. We looked at the alignment as well, the direction we wanted to take this football club in with a sporting director. Could we have somebody coming into the club that was perfectly comfortable with the way that we wanted to operate? And not everybody would have been, but that was the direction we set ourselves in when we appointed Rich back in 12 months ago now, and it was absolutely clear that we had a set of criteria. And even in those first few days when you make the appointment, you think it's brave. You obviously feel very much for the supporters. You feel very much for the manager himself going into that first game itself. But I think we kept coming back and saying, look, we had a process in place. We've always been taught, trust. If you've got a process, trust that process. Trust the criteria that you've gone through. And it's been a really, really good start to John's coaching career, and I'm delighted for him.
More victories, and Fratton Park tickets are going to get even harder to get hold of. When might home fans be able to get in the Milton End when there's not a big away allocation? Yeah, that's making really good progress. So to give everybody an update, we should be able to accommodate 2,000 Charlton fans in for the game on November the 11th. That's quite a milestone because that gives us the real big test. It's also likely we might have both entrances of the Milton End open for that game, but that will be the real test. And if that all goes well, over the next couple of weeks, we will see the new control room completed.
Pompey Chief Exec Andrew Cullen there with Andy Moon earlier this week. You can hear that interview in full, Pompey fans, up on BBC Sounds. There's links up on Solent Sport on Twitter. Right, players back out at the Silver Lake Stadium. So on all frequencies now, we're going to take you there, and then Tom will hand you back to the Tottenham game as well once they're ready to get underway. So first of all, Eastleigh against Dover, goalless at half-time. Your commentary team, Wayne Shaw and Tom Murray.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Goalless here at the Silver Lake as Eastleigh take on Dover Athletic in the fourth qualifying round of the FA Cup. Looking for a spot in the first round proper tomorrow afternoon's draw. Wayne, Eastleigh have looked comfortable so far in this match, but as with any game like this, even when you are comfortable, the longer it stays goalless, the more confidence Dover are going to have.
Yeah, definitely. We don't really want a trip to Dover, do we, on Tuesday night? So hopefully the boys can get the job done today.
Oh, don't worry, it will be a Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday, is it? Oh,
that makes all the difference.
Definitely.
Dover have it down the left-hand side. Ball goes off an Eastleigh man. There'll be a Dover throw as they making some inroads in front of the travelling fans over on that far side. I'd say there's a good maybe 100 or so who've made the trip up from Kent. if this game were to go to a replay, informed it would be this coming Wednesday. There isn't any other time that they can do that before the first round proper on the weekend of the 4th of November. Throw in from Dover is hacked clear by Ludwig Franchaletta over towards that far side, goes out of play. Spitfires throw inside the first 45 seconds or so of this second half. 0-0. Just take you through the teams. For Eastleigh, no changes. Joe McDonnell is in goal. George Langston, Corey Panter, Ludwig Franchaletta, Oscar Rutherford across the back four. Chris Maguire, Jake Taylor, Charlie Carter, Enzio Baldovine, Paul McCallum returning from suspension, and Scott Quigley up top. For Dover, Billy Terrell in goal. John Oyanuga, Charlie Naylor, Jacob Mensah and Peter Odgerman form a back four, with Paris Locke, James Dunn, Henry Young and Archie Hatcher in the middle, and up top Zidane Sutherland and Nick Dembele. A few options on the bench for Eastleigh. They've actually named one fewer subs than Dover this afternoon. Tommy Scott, Aidan Barlow, Kaya Shaka, Arlie Stockers. It's played over the top. Dover into the penalty area here, and there's just a moment where there's a lapse in concentration in the Spitfires back line as the ball was just hacked over the defence, and a challenge has gone in there by, and it's Taylor who's been on the receiving end of that challenge from James Dunn.
It's Dembele, wasn't it?
Is it Dembele that's gone?
I think it's Dembele, yeah.
I'm sorry, James. Nick Dembele, you're the one that's gone into the book. That's actually the third booking of the afternoon. Taylor has it for the Spitfires to Rutherford on this near side. Rutherford and Maguire standing out in that first half as a ball through the middle to McCallum, tries to get it out towards Baldovine on that far side, but Zidane Sutherland comes over well and just gets it back in Dover possession. Long ball forward by Odgerman down the left hand side. Dembele's making the run. He lines up against George Langston, who wins the throw, goes back into the middle to Joe McDonnell. Eastleigh looking to bounce back from what Richard Hill called an unacceptable second half performance up at Hartlepool. They lost that game 3-1. Dink ball forward in search of Rutherford, far too much behind that from Corey Panter. And as the ball goes out of play for a Dover throw, let me just hand you over to our other commentary live on BBC Radio Solent on Dorset FM and Dorset DAB with Cliff Pledge at AFC Totton in the FA Cup. They're taking on Ramsgate. Cliff. And back here at the Silver Lake Stadium, it remains goalless. I'm very glad that I have my timer on, because at the moment the scoreboard's stuck on 53.5 minutes. It's only 3 minutes into the second half so far.
I think Tom's forgot to rejig it for the second half. I think he's still on first half, Tom.
Well, when it gets towards the end of the game and look at 53, you think, oh, no, that makes sense with the amount of added time we've been getting. Only 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. Shocking, really. But as it stands, just shy of 4 minutes gone in the second half, as Eastleigh are looking to book a ticket and book their place in the first round. They're being played in the first weekend of November. Not far away. Jake Taylor picks it up, centre of the Dover half, and Maguire, nice low ball out towards the right hand side to Baldovine. Cross into the box, it's headed up into the air. Terrell is going to have to claim that away from Paul McCallum. Does well, the youngster.
He's a big lad, isn't he? He must be, what, 6'3", 6'4"?
He's done well so far just to claim the ball out of the sky. That was the first one where he's been under any real pressure to get it, although Paul McCallum didn't quite throw himself into that one. Maybe a lost cause as the sun goes behind a cloud, and there's sort of like this muted light in front of us. Maybe we'll have a spot of rain. Just so happened actually that although it's been beautiful sunshine, I thought I'd do my washing. The other half sent me a text saying we left it out in the rain. Brilliant. I'll be getting told off later. I'm sure it'll be my fault. Henry Young now on the left hand side for Dover, as they're looking to offer a little bit more in the second half after a couple of half chances in the first 45. That's a lunging challenge in the middle by Naylor. Henry Young still has it, 18 years old. He's done well to hold himself up against the experienced Eastleigh midfield. Him and Jake Taylor certainly have had a tussle or two. Eastleigh do well to win the ball on that far side. Now Baldovine is using his pace to run forward, and he's got options ahead of him. Feeds quickly down the right hand side, deflection comes off Naylor, Quigley still has it, crosses it into the box. McCallum with the header, and that's completely aimless and goes out of play. I think almost closer to the corner flag than the actual goal itself. That's poor from Paul McCallum.
I think he was a little bit behind him as well, a bit pacey, a bit too high for him as well. He just couldn't get over it. It's Quigley, there's a good run. Bolvar Enzio again. He's causing all sorts of trouble down their left-hand side. They can't seem to cope with him.
Yeah, he's one of those players today where you think there's different class. You can certainly see the experience that he brings to the side. Well, he has 3 goals to his name so far this season. That long goal kick from Terrell is flicked on by Dembele. Nick Dembele, not the one that plays for PSG. There's a bit of a difference between those two. Corey Panther, back from injury. George Langston, former Watford Academy graduate, dinks it over towards the far side. That's a poor ball with his right foot, goes out of play. The atmosphere hasn't really quite got going in the second half yet. There's almost a little bit of nerves, a little bit of angst in the Eastleigh crowd, but I suppose that lull is always expected just after half time. But the longer this remains goalless, the more that impatience will start to grow that Eastleigh haven't got themselves in the lead.
Quietens the crowd, doesn't it, the longer it goes on, and they start getting a little bit anxious, and
it gives hope to Dover as well. The longer that one goes on, and Eastleigh will be looking to put the game to bed as early as possible.
Cause a little unrest, doesn't it? A bit of moaning going on in the stands when things don't go right.
They have it on this near side with John Oyenuga, the 28-year-old, played every minute so far this season, signed from Farnborough, is actually on loan at Eastleigh from Farnborough last season, made 9 appearances for the Spitfires. Panther now for Pompey and Sheffield Wednesday man Chris Maguire. Out to Baldovine, tries to dink it down the right side. That goes in between both Carter and Quigley, neither run for it, and Terrell will just collect that with ease as we that's 7.5 minutes gone of this second half in the FA Cup, 0-0, live on BBC Radio Solent, across 96.1 FM, Hants DAB, online and on the BBC Sport website and app. Myself and former Spitfires keeper Wayne Short taking you through every minute this afternoon. Paris Locke just wins himself a free kick, plays it quickly, trying to find Sutherland. Maguire collects the loose ball. Taylor, nice touch, and then Eastleigh do well to work it out of a cul-de-sac of 4 Dover players, and Charlie Carter in the middle of his own half. They're just playing it across the back. Francioletto almost the eyes lit up there of Nick Dembele, but Francioletto did well just to touch it away from the on-rushing striker as Maguire loses possession against Paris Locke, and Locke is running forward. This is a great chance for Dover into the penalty area. Locke across the face of goal. It's a poor cross. Eastleigh are let off the hook. Paris Locke is currently just on the floor, head and hands. He can't quite believe how bad that ball into the box was, but alarm bells there as Chris Maguire had the ball nicked off his toes, and Dover had about a 4-on-3 man chance.
Looked like a free kick to me, Tom. I don't know if it was right in front of us, but it wasn't given, and that was a poor decision from the number 20 there for Dover, or 26 for Dover.
Yeah, Paris Locke, he's got 2 assists in the 2-1 win over Haringey Borough in the 3rd qualifying round, so he had his stay extended from AFC Wimbledon as well. Got himself in the team of the week a couple of times at the moment, according to some Dover fans. He's one of those players that has his fullback on toast almost every game. Hasn't been able to show that so far, but he did well to win the ball off Maguire. Ball goes out of play on that far side. Baldovine thought he managed to keep it in play, but it will be a Dover throw down by the corner flag on that far side. Shy of 10 minutes gone in the second half. Goalless it remains.
Looked unfortunate, that, mate. He turned it inside out.
He did well, and it was his run that lit up the first half towards the end of that 45. Fed Quigley well in the box, but he just dragged his shot wide of the right-hand post. Quigley, who's not really been able to get himself in the match so far. His first touch has evaded him at the best of times. Odgerman down the left-hand side. It's a poor ball, well intercepted by Francioletto. Boldevine picks it up on halfway. Now Charlie Carter. Quigley's making a run down the right. Doesn't get the ball. Boldevine on halfway. Turns away from trouble. Eastleigh just happy to play it across the back four, and now Corey Panter will bring it over towards this near side. Over halfway goes the 22-year-old Oscar Rutherford. Diagonal ball in search of the head of McCallum in the box. It's well dealt with by Dover. Odgerman trying to get it out on that far side. Boldevine wins the loose ball. Carter edge of the box, dinks it towards the back stick. Header goes away from Quigley. That was well done, dealt with by Mensah. Dover keep it in play. Do they? No, they don't. Spitfire's corner away to our left.
Don't know about you, Tom, but I think we look a lot better when we get the ball in the box. We're giving up the opportunities at the moment to get the ball in the box, and that seems to be where we're going to cause the danger.
And they seem to have managed to get their heads clear as what they want to do with it, lofting the ball towards the far stick, searching for the head of McCallum or Quigley every time, but in front of a busy North stand, the arm goes up from Chris Maguire towards the front stick. Ball comes down quickly with the shot, it's blocked and goes out of play on the far side for another corner. Oh, that was about 4 yards out. Did well to react to that one, but I think the defender who's got in the way of that one has certainly felt it, that's for sure.
You just don't think it's going to be your day when this goes on, mate. We hit the post first half from a deflection, and it's just he's dived in front of it. It's hit his body, and it would have been in the roof of the net, but it's gone out for a corner.
Lady Luck not on Eastleigh's side at the moment. Just shy of the 57th minute mark. Another corner flicked on by Langston. Cries of handball. No, says Paul Johnson. And now it comes up to halfway. And Dover might have a chance to get forward. Paris Lock is fed down the left. Joe McDonald comes out early and just hacks it clear. Did well to read that, did Joe McDonald. But Dover Athletic will have it on halfway with Oyenuga. Diagonal ball towards the back stick. It's bounced over. Sutherland's offside. And the rain has started to come down here at the Silver Lake. Despite blue skies all around, you just know it's not your day when, despite all this wonderful weather, you're the only place that has a cloud over it.
Have I told you, Tom, that I was involved at Sutton in the 5th round of the FA Cup? I don't think I have, mate, have I?
You haven't told me, but I am aware.
Ah, that's good. You got good awareness today then. You've done your homework? No, you're only aware.
The 2-0 defeat to Arsenal, am I right?
Oh, that was correct, mate, yeah. But the 4th round was good, 1-0 against Leeds, and the 3rd round was even better, 2-1 away at Wimbledon after a replay at 0-0 at our place.
Wayne Shaw just getting his little plug in there. Headed out onto this near side. It'll be a Dover throw as the fans behind the goal away to my right just starting to get a bit of voice in them. Hatcher in the box, sweeps it towards the back stick. McDonald was a little bit unsure there. He didn't quite know where that was going, but it didn't trouble him in the end, and Eastleigh will have a goal kick. I mean, Dover Athletic in the FA Cup, they reached the 3rd round for the first time back in 2011. They beat local rivals Gillingham in round 1 and then Aldershot, eventually losing to League One Huddersfield 2-0. There was a moment of madness in that game, 2 goals in 5 minutes after pretty much dominating that game, but that's what the higher leagues can do to you if you switch off just for that 5 minutes, especially when you're playing at that level.
Clinical, mate, aren't they? Clinical.
Oh, that's all it takes. That's all it takes, and then they'll have that experience to see out the game. Last season knocked out in the second qualifying round by Ebbsfleet, as Jordan Clark was saying in the pre-match show. We've just signed former Cherries winger Jordan Ibe, Cherries and Liverpool winger. Carter now racing towards the edge of the box. Rutherford, nice cut back onto his right foot. Edge of the box is Maguire, turns, not in a shooting opposition. Quigley, right corner of the box. Is he going to take on his man? On towards his left foot. His shot is blocked. Back to Taylor. Will Taylor drill it into the penalty area? Turn, goal!
Yeah, 1-0. Woohoo!
And it's Charlie Carter. And Eastleigh have broken the deadlock here at the Silver Lake. Lovely move. Taylor got himself down the right side of the penalty area, into Carter, one touch on his right, swiveled, left-footed shot into the bottom corner, and Eastleigh, after huffing and puffing, finally have got themselves in the lead in the FA Cup. Eastleigh 1, Dover Athletic 0.
Yeah, Jake Taylor, brilliant. He quickly come in, had a shot, got blocked. Jake picked it up, run into the box, could be challenged. He just slid the ball through there. The keeper's gone over to the linesman and he's had a go saying offside, but brilliant finish by Carter, just lifted it over the keeper. 1-0.
Charlie Carter's first goal of the season, and boy did it need to come then. Eastleigh have finally set this FA Cup tie alive, and at the moment have 1 foot in the draw for the first round proper. How will Dover respond? Haven't really offered too much in terms of trouble so far, but with the rain coming down, maybe a few slips and spills in the final half an hour here at the Silver Lake, and who knows what can happen. But Eastleigh finally getting the ball in the back of the net. I mean, after some of their chances, hitting the post, hitting the stanchion, deflection, hitting the goalkeeper, hitting the post again. We thought it might not be their day, but
yeah, we did say that, Tom, didn't we? We didn't think it was going to be our day with what's going on.
McCallum has turned and he might just beat Terrell to this. Willie Terrell comes out well. Long ball.
He's got to win that. He's got to win that.
Francholetti's going to leave that, and a shot there by Zidane Sutherland on the bounce. First time, eventually dragged it quite a few yards wide, but Francholetta there just letting the ball go right over his head, and that was a dangerous opportunity.
It's come from their keeper as well, mate, isn't it?
A couple of changes here for Dover. Paris Locke is going to be coming off. He's going to be replaced by number 11, Iffy Allen. Scored a penalty so far in the FA Cup. And Joel Powell as well is going to be coming on in place of Archie Hatcher. So a couple of changes, maybe it's a change of shape. Dover going to start to take the game more towards Eastleigh now that they trail with about 28 minutes of normal time to go. Iffy Allen plays on the left-hand side, 29 signed from Carl Scholten back in July. He's got 1 league goal so far. The 2-2 draw at Bath. Scored a penalty in that 3-2 win over Hastings United in the second qualifying round. Whereas for Joel Powell, Charlton Academy, 22 years old, was it Dulwich and Tonbridge Angels. It's actually sent off versus Weymouth in the first half for 2 yellow cards earlier on in the season. Cliff Pledge at that one. First touch of the ball on this near side for Allen. Loses possession, Eastleigh have a throw.
We can't sit back on this, mate. I think we've still got to take it to them. It's we normally score and then we just sit back on things and change it a little bit, but I think we've got to keep driving on.
Eastleigh lead through Charlie Carter's goal. About half an hour left in the game when that one was struck. Jake Taylor's just brought down by a flying challenge by Joel Powell. His first contribution to the match. And Eastleigh will have a free kick, and I think the referee Paul Johnson just going to have a word with the Dover boss Mitch Brundle. Former Cheltenham, Gateshead and Bristol City midfielder, had 2 spells at Dover as a player. It's in that second spell where he's put in temporary charge after Andy Hessenthaler went to Gillingham as director of football. Maguire lost it into the box. McCallum can't quite get a touch on that one to bring it down, and that goes into the arms of Billy Terrell, on loan from AFC Bournemouth, also on loan at Weymouth last season, conceding his 23rd goal of the season to Charlie Carter. Long ball forward, it's going to go all the way through to Joe McDonald, and that's the second time in the space of a minute or so that the keeper's gone from one end to the other.
He strikes it well, mate, doesn't he?
That's a loose ball from him, and now Dover can bring it forward with Allen down the right hand side, tries to play it into Joel Powell, takes it away from Langston, who just harries him well, and the cutback is poor from the substitute. Maguire's toe poke forward is never going to be caught by Paul McCallum, and Jacob Mensah will have it in the right centre back position. Now in the centre circle with Henry Young. The 18-year-old just brings it over halfway towards that far side to Peter Odgerman. Signed after a trial period in the summer. Diagonal pass in search of Iffy Allen up against Oscar Rutherford. Uses his body to get in between himself and the ball, and then turns and does well now to bring it forward, but only as far as the edge of his own box. Back to Panther. It's quite a flat ball up towards halfway. Will it be kept in by Oyenuga? There's a cry of frustration as the bounce just wasn't kind to him, and Eastleigh will have it once more with Rutherford. So they lead 1-0. I think I can ask you with about 25 minutes to go. Still Pompey away in the first round if things remain as they are?
Yeah, I think we Don't count them chickens. Oh, here we go.
It's a lovely flip by McCallum, and Maguire is set away down the left-hand side. He's got Boldevine in the middle, cross the box, and that's too heavy. Quickly might try and keep it in on the far side. He does no, he doesn't. The flag goes up. Head down from Scott Quigley. Maguire just put far too much on that after a lovely flick by Paul McCallum, set him away down the left-hand side from about 25 yards out on the left channel. Left-footed ball into the box, and that was too far ahead of Enzo Boldevine. That would have been a lovely breakaway goal, but it was not to be. 1-0 Spitfires lead, 25 minutes of normal time to go in the second half. Panther, diagonal ball out towards that far side. Boldevine heads it infield in search of Quigley. Henry Young and James Dunn combine in the centre. Got a little FA Cup rhyme in there. Lovely stuff. Quick feet by Powell, and he feeds it to Allen down the right. Rutherford comes across well, takes him out of the game.
He's been fantastic, Rutherford. He's defended well, he's got forward, strong. He's only 18, mate, as well, isn't he?
Yep. From Plymouth as well, down the right hand side is Quigley, keeps it in play this time, coming up towards the edge of the box, dinks it, doesn't beat the first man. James Dunn gets ahead to that one. Scott Quigley, he's got his head down, it just hasn't been his day so far.
It's just end product, mate, and it's a final ball, or it's that little bit extra that we should have, and up on them, but it's just not really happening. But we got to keep driving forward.
The drizzle still coming down here at the Silver Lake. Those blue skies away to the left being replaced by some grey cloud. Live on BBC Radio Solent, 96.1 FM, Hants DAB online and the BBC Sport website and app. Rutherford has it just on the edge of the centre circle. There's a poor pass from him, and Odgerman will just boot it first time up towards halfway, and Nick Dembele. Panther comes across, deals with that, receives the ball first time back from McDonald, and now Panther can bring it up towards halfway. Carter, the goal scorer, shifts it onto his right foot, into Quigley in the middle. Triangles from Eastleigh as they just look to gain a bit of control in the game, in the match so far. Rutherford into the centre, Carter just inside the Dover half, drives towards the edge of the box, has to get away from a couple of challenges. And Boldevine receives the ball on the right side, now trying to take on Odgerman, and he beats his man for pace, stumbles, goes to the ground. Does he win a free kick? No, says the referee. Maybe he just stumbled. He did have quite the burst of pace there, and maybe just that slight knock brought him to the ground. He was trying to stay up, and if he had, he would have been able to get well into the area, but not that time. Long ball up for Dover. What can they respond with? Dembele passes it into the middle, and Powell feeds it into the left-hand side to Allen and Sutherland. He's still got it. Back to Young, up against Carter. Eastleigh forced over back towards halfway. Odgerman and Sutherland on that left-hand side as the drizzle has started to turn into heavy rain. Ball into the box. Allen, and the ball just bounces away from him. The offside flag stays down for now. Rutherford now picks up the loose ball up towards halfway in a battle with James Dunn. Does well to get away from the experienced former Exeter midfielder. Jake Taylor's fed down the left. Two men for company. And Jake Taylor is adjudged to have fouled his man Joel Powell.
Cheap.
Gives away a cheap free kick. 22 minutes to go here of normal time in the FA Cup. Eastleigh have got a toe in the draw for the first round proper tomorrow afternoon, 2:30. They'll be ball 70. Story's not over yet though. Another goal. One more goal will completely change this. Another one for Eastleigh, and you'd say that's curtains. One for Dover, and who knows what can happen in the final quarter of the game. No changes as of yet for Eastleigh. They've got the outfield players: Aidan Barlow, Kai Shaka, Harley Stock, Sung Woo Yang and Sam Bagan to choose from. Already a few changes for Dover as the ball just bounces over Allen. And Jake Taylor will collect it in the centre circle. A few cries of Eastleigh, Eastleigh from the fans with the foam hands down below me. Nice atmosphere, although it did have a bit of a pre-season feel. Ball in the box by Rutherford. Terrell again reads that well, comes out to claim. Not much he could have really done about the Charlie Carter goal. It's so close to him, about 8 yards out, but apart from that, he's not done badly, the youngster. Surely there was a handball there, or maybe ball to hand. Richard Hill, arms up. Eastleigh do have the throw on this near side.
He's hurt himself, the 25 there.
It's John Oyenuga. Made 9 appearances for Eastleigh last season in the earlier part of the campaign. On loan from Farnborough. And another poor touch from Quigley, loses the ball, but Eastleigh are fortunate that Boldevine was quick to react. Now Quigley once more. Tries to get the ball out of his feet. 2 men ahead of him. McCallum, 30 yards from goal, out towards that far side with Francioletto. Jake Taylor, right of the centre circle, dinks it down the right towards Boldevine. Boldevine will keep that in play up by the corner flag. Into the box, McCallum free header! Good save again by Terrell, down to his right. Another fine stop. And Paul McCallum didn't really have to move for that one. Just stood there, headed it. It looked for all the money it was going in the bottom right hand corner, but Terrell was there to stop it being 2-0. And now Dover have won it on halfway. One challenge skipped away. Langston come back quickly, but has fouled his man Zidane Sutherland. He's already on a yellow, and I think that will be a yellow for George Langston, and I think that's the first booking of the afternoon for an Eastleigh player.
Yeah, I think they've had 3, haven't they? And that's the one now.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He couldn't let Dover continue that move, otherwise it would have been about a 3-on-2 situation. Young out towards Odgerman on the far side. Ball down the left channel for Allen. Up against Francioletto, hits the deck, wins himself a free kick. That looked quite soft.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's he doesn't need to do anything. He's going on. He's got his back to goal. He's out on the wing. He just need to stand up.
Approaching the 72nd minute mark here, live on BBC Radio Solent. FA Cup action, 4th qualifying round. Eastleigh 1, Dover 0. They've taken the free kick quickly. Allen, too quickly for the liking of Paul Johnson, and they're going to have another go, or are they? It's a yellow card, and I think that's James Dunn. Well, he'll be glad that I didn't give him the yellow card earlier, otherwise he'd be off. But he definitely is in the book now. Didn't have to rub that one out. Free kick on the far side. Everyone back bar Maguire for Eastleigh. Be a right-footed in-swing in line of blue and white and black shirts on the edge of the penalty area. James Dunn with the delivery. Up goes the header towards the back stick. And Charlie Carter will let that roll out of play for a goal kick. Well, it's the best chance really for Dover to get back into the game through these set pieces. They haven't really created too much, and they've struggled to beat the offside trap as well when they brought it forward. Zidane Sutherland sort of the main culprit for that. But if they are going to get something back into this game in the final 17 minutes of normal time, that's not a bad way to do it, but not on that occasion.
They have got in behind us on a couple of occasions, and with just a lack of concentration from us. But again, they're really hadn't tested Joe when they really should have.
Ball bounces over everybody, out of play. It will be a Dover throw-in. Well, at the moment, Dover looking like they're going to be exiting the FA Cup. They did reach round 3 back in 2015 after beating Morecambe and Cheltenham 1-0 in first and second rounds. Eventually thrashed 4-0 at home by Premier League opposition in Crystal Palace. At the moment, it looks like Eastleigh are going to be the ones in the first round proper. Maguire down the left-hand side. Comes back. Rutherford, fed down the left, ball in the box, hack clear by Young, about 30 yards out from goal. Taylor heads it forward. Carter, the goal scorer, collects on his chest, takes it towards his left, tries to feed Rutherford down the left hand side. Ball in the box, McCallum, it can't quite find him. Maguire on the volley, flipped by McCallum. It comes to Quigley. Can he get on the end of it? He still has it. Back to goal in the box. Out to Rutherford, dinks it towards the back post, and 2 Dover heads get it clear. Taylor on the volley, great save by Terrell. What an effort that was from Jake Taylor on the volley, edge of the box, left of the D. It was only just to the right of Billy Terrell, but still had to react to that one quickly as it came through a few bodies. Great save, goal. It remains 1-0.
Good save, comfortable height, and he got it away from danger.
They take the corner quickly. Chris Maguire combining with Oscar Rutherford, turns, fakes to cross, feeds Rutherford down the left, ball into the box towards the back stick, over Quigley, and that's going to go over everybody and surely out of play for a throw on that far side. That'd have been some goal by Jake Taylor.
Yeah, it's good volley, good technique. Got his knee over it, didn't he? He hit the target, and yeah, like I say, a comfortable save for the keeper, but a good one as well.
He actually did very well to keep that one down, because you've seen so many times that one being hit and my windscreen being in danger of being smashed by that. Or I'd say the windows behind the goal of the hospitality section, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got the prawn sandwich brigade in there by the looks of it.
Some cucumber sandwiches getting thrown around, that's for sure. He did get that one on target. Would have been a contender for goal of the round, that's for sure. And on the far side, the sunshine just threatening to creep out a little bit, as after a fairly grey and drizzly start to the second half, maybe we're going to get a bright finish. Jake Taylor's ball down the right is going to be collected surely by Charlie Naylor. His ball to Ogerman, it's poorly controlled, it'll be a Spitfires throw in line with the edge of the box on that far side, with Charlie Carter, whose goal on the 60th minute mark remains the difference so far.
A bit like your wallet, Tom, the sun coming out. Not very often.
That reminds me, I need to dust away the cobwebs for that one. Good noise by the Eastleigh crowd. There comes the sun. Lovely.
Not your wallet, though.
Not my wallet, no. That reminds me, I need to find out where it is. Corey Panther, 35 yards from goal. Crosses it towards the left corner of the box to Scott Quigley. Being harried and hustled. Taylor leaves that for Langston in the centre circle. Back to Taylor. We almost doubled Eastleigh's lead with a fine volley that was well saved by Towell. That's a poor ball by Langston, and it's lofted over the top in search of Dembele, who's racing forward. Will he get away from his man? He does down the left. Can he keep that in play? And he has no one to aim for, and the ball into the box is just gathered by McDonnell. There was no one in there to play it to, and quite frankly, I think Dembele probably should have looked to maybe cut that back.
He was there on his own, wasn't he? He'd done well to get there, really. He got a nudge off the ball. He kept him in his stride, or put him off his stride for a bit, but he got to the ball and there was nothing in the box. Comfortable for Joe.
Dover haven't really offered too much as McCallum tries to slide a ball in the penalty area. Henry Young now receives the ball quickly from Terrell up towards halfway.
They're gambling now, Tom. They're putting a few men forward now. So
well, Iffy Allen almost trying to get on that down the left. McDonnell comes out quickly to stop it going out for a corner. Boldevine just nonchalantly collects that on the far side. Jake Taylor now. And in the middle of the Eastleigh half is Chris Maguire, just spreading the player. He's been absolutely everywhere so far, Chris Maguire, popping up in little pockets of space, but that's what you expect from a guy with his experience. He certainly is excelling in playing in that role just behind the two strikers. McDonnell. Quigley gets on the header. The offside flag goes up against Scott Quigley. Eastleigh still yet to make a change so far with 12 minutes to go. Got a great deal of experience on the bench to choose from for Richard Hill. Ogerman already on a booking. Henry Young sprays the ball out towards this near side to John Oyenuga. Can he get the ball into the box? Tries to cut away from Rutherford. Still going Oyenuga into the penalty area, shoots, it's blocked, comes out to Sutherland on this right side, turns his man well, gets to the byline, drags it forward, and across comes Langston well to cut that out at the front post, but still come Dover with Young. Dunn, 35 yards from goal, lofts the ball in the box in search of Allen. That's going to go over him, and you'd imagine Boldevine is going to win that battle of the number 11s. He doesn't need to, because the flag goes up. 11 minutes of normal time to go. Eastleigh looking comfortable at the moment. Well, if they are to get into the first round proper, that'll be on the weekend of the 4th of November. A few games in between that. Next Saturday, York at home, and then the following Tuesday it's Woking, 2 home games in a row, and then a trip to Maidenhead before that FA Cup tie. After having so many Saturday, Tuesday games, it must be really nice for Richard Hill to have a couple of weeks without a midweek fixture, especially it being such a cramped fixture list.
Red card here, mate.
That could be a red card in the middle. It's a loose challenge.
He's got it out of the back pocket straight away.
Across. The red card is in his right hand. I'm just trying to figure out who that is on the deck, who's been...
Jake Taylor.
Jake Taylor is on the wrong end of that, and it looks like it might be the Is it the youngster Henry Young who's going to receive his marching orders? He is. And Dover are down to 10. It's a poor challenge by Henry Young. Left a couple of feet in. Jake Taylor's still on his back, just short of halfway.
I think he's put him on the calf, I think, mate, but yeah.
Henry Young just trudging over towards this near side. Gets a high five from Zidane Sutherland. What's he going to get from his manager? No high five from him, just a arm around the shoulder and a talking to. He is only 18 years old, he'll learn from that experience. Thankfully Jake Taylor is up, but just there's a danger of that happening in the game when you just get into a little bit of a lull at the end, concentration evades you, and all it takes is a lazy challenge and you're a couple of seconds too late. And lucky for Young, he's not injured, Jake Taylor, because that could have easily been the case. Into the final 9, lofted ball over towards McCallum, offside flag goes up, and Eastleigh
done him a favour because his first touch wasn't very good there, so that was handy for that.
Most people in the FA Cup look for sort of a goal of the round competition. I think this should be a competition for the worst first touch so far in this game. McCallum and Scott Quigley leading the charge. Now Dover, with just 10 men, are going to have Mount Everest to climb if they want to get themselves even a replay.
Sometimes, mate, you're better off with 10. Work that extra hard.
Well, he's been very industrious, Henry Young. Covered a lot of blades of grass, that's for sure, as Joel Powell in a battle of the number 7s with him and goal scorer Charlie Carter. I think he's going to go in the book himself. Cards flying out left, right and centre here.
You said he had 8 cards when the last game he played, so it's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a red
5
card.
and a red, so he's not doing too bad. He's being consistent.
I tell you what, I'd love to be on his Christmas card list. That's a guaranteed card. Ball in the box by Dover. That's a shocking delivery by James Dunn. You'd think with such little time to go, those opportunities to get the ball in the box are going to become far and few between. And yeah, it's a really poor ball. No one was running on to the end of that, and that just gives AC a chance just to run down the clock a little bit further as we enter the final 7.5 minutes of normal time.
I think you'd say comfortable, mate. That, you know, we probably ain't got out of second gear really, if we are totally honest. Looking at it, you know, the centre half, they've had an easy day. The 2 full-backs have done well going forward, and Chris Maguire's been in and around everything. Jake's done his job.
Ball bounces over Quigley, brought down on the edge of the area by Maguire. Shifts it to his left to Charlie Carter, whose goal currently has Eastleigh in the first round. Into the box to McCallum, tries to turn away, left-footed shot, hits the post. Wow. Wonderful effort on the turn. Taylor 30 yards out. Sprays it out to Baldovine. Is he going to take on Allen? No, plays it in field to Maguire, who's popped up on that right-hand side. Back to Taylor, 30 yards from goal, right of centre. Maguire feeds it into Quigley, whose first touch is actually good for once. Ironic cheers to my left. Baldovine now down the right-hand side as Eastleigh are just popping it from left to right. Maguire, ball into the box, header from Carter, and it's over and wide, and I don't think that was actually very close to going in.
I think McCallum had that. He was...
The real chance of that, though, Wayne, was Paul McCallum back to goal. Lovely turn, swivel, left-footed shot, crashed off just the top of the left-hand post. Eastleigh could have had a hatful this afternoon.
Yeah, fantastic, you know, spin. Again, Maguire involved, spinning it around the corner.
Just over 5 minutes to go. Live on BBC Radio Solent, FA Cup action. Myself and former Eastleigh keeper Wayne Shaw.
Carter's been good second half, hasn't he? He's got in and around things as well.
Yeah, he was struggling to set the world alight in the first half, but since then popped up in a few spaces, took his goal really nicely.
And the goal,
Taylor brings the ball down well in the centre circle. A couple of passes exchanged on that right side, back to Taylor in the middle.
Let's just keep the ball now. It's you know, make that advantage.
Carter
pick them off
down the right to Baldovine. Lines up Odgerman. Pulls it to Maguire, 30 yards from goal. He'll let fly with his left foot, it's deflected. Carter might get this on the edge of the box. Quigley shapes to shoot, back to Boldivine, drives it, that's hit the post! Oh, Boldivine has just struck the upright from about 16 yards.
It's that 4 times they've hit the woodwork.
That's at least 4 or 5 times now. My lord. Well, it's one of those games, I think, where if you're not going to thrash the opposition, make sure that you keep the clean sheet. Eastleigh...
And we need one, mate, don't we? 8 games without a clean sheet.
Exactly. It's only one goal that's going to change the game, and Eastleigh currently in the hat for the first round, but Dover, what can they offer as we enter the final stages? Now into the middle with Joel Powell. Feeds it down the left in search of Sutherland. Across comes Panther, deals with that well, slides it out towards the right-hand side, but Dover will have a throw in line with the edge of the Spitfires box. 4 minutes to go. Down by the travelling contingent, who haven't really had much to cheer so far in this second half. Aside from maybe protesting the red card, but there wasn't really much to protest about. James Dunn gets the throw. He goes to the floor, and he's won himself a set piece. Down by the corner flag on the left-hand side. Again, looked fairly cheap, maybe a little nudge in the back, but the referee was quick to give that one, and Dover, in the final 3.5 minutes of the game, have got a good opportunity to whip the ball in the box.
Sloppy, mate, wasn't it? You just don't need to.
You got the game under control, you don't need to do that. I think it's Francioletto who's
giving them a leg up, isn't it?
All it takes is one chance. Everyone back for Eastleigh in the box, bar Chris Maguire. Everyone forward for Dover, bar John Oyenuga. Ball into the box. That is a terrible delivery. James Dunn, for all your experience, hang your head in shame. He's just booted it over the head of absolutely everyone. It's gone out of play for a goal kick.
That should have been on a rugby pitch.
It's definitely a conversion, I think. He should be in the south of France at the moment. England might need him against Fiji. James Dunn, maybe football is not your sport. No, he's a very experienced midfielder, but today has just not been his day. But he certainly put himself about. His white and black shirt has got a fair few grass stains on it, so he's sort of the engine in that midfield, and also been sitting back in between the two centre-backs at times, but his set-piece deliveries have not come off the way he would have wanted. However, there's still time in this game for another goal, as Iffy Allen tries to get away from Enzo Boldivine. His ball down the left is shocking, and it's well collected by Francioletto, and now Eastleigh have a chance to bring it forward with Scott Quigley trying to get the ball out of his feet, and that's a strong challenge by Peter Odgerman, who's already on a booking. Could Dover be about to go down to 9 men? The yellow card is out. Dear me.
He's come on his sub, hasn't he?
Well,
he's not been booked.
Well, the yellow card is... He did have it in his hand, but Odgerman's just walking away from the referee, Paul Johnson. And he's given a yellow card, I think, to Iffy Allen, maybe for protesting, but I'll tell you what, Peter Odgerman has got away from his second suspension of the season. And yet another card. I'd say it'd be quite the competition between how many times we've hit the post and the yellow cards for this match.
The referee always wins.
Absolutely, Paul Johnson. Ball out on the right. Chris Maguire plays it short to Boldivine. Takes it towards the right corner of the area. Maguire back to Taylor. Eastleigh just knocking it about. And that's a nice ball down to Boldivine towards the byline, dinks it towards the back stone. McCallum with the header, another good save by Billy Terrell.
Push.
And there was a push in the back, it wouldn't have counted anyway. It was straight at the keeper, but...
And now he's booked McCallum.
Now Paul McCallum has got himself his sixth yellow of the season. Who wants a card? Everyone has a card. It's like a magician. Pick any card and colour of your choice, though not the red one. Ball bounces forward, dealt with by Langston. Hands in the back of Dembele, who's been very quiet in the second half. Oyenuga trying to hit it towards Dembele. Pokes it down the right to Sutherland. Back to Dembele, right corner of the box. Dover working it towards the edge. Oyenuga, he's got 3 men ahead of him. Onto his left foot, into the box. There might be a chance to get the ball out the feet of Allen. Comes to Joel Powell. Still keeps it in play on that far side. Can they get across into the area? Suzanne Sutherland shoots, deflection, McDonald scoops it away from the goal. What a fantastic shot that is by the Eastleigh keeper, and applause all around. Fantastic reaction.
Great reaction there from Joe. He was on the deck and he's gone back and he's gone the other way and put it out.
4 minutes added time. Oyenuga's cross is deflected. Another corner for Dover. And with just that 1 goal lead, are Dover about to start a siege on the Spitfires goal? It's lucky not to be down to 9 men, but they are down to 10. But in the last few minutes, that just goes to the wall, really. Eastleigh, everyone back in the Spitfires box. Can it be a better delivery from Dunn? It is. Into the heart of the box, headed out by Langston. Another corner. Eastleigh have got their foot in the hat in the draw for the first round, but at the moment Dover are doing all they can to try and squeeze a foot in there as well. Just over 3 minutes of additional time remaining. Dunn into the box, up goes the header, it falls down, and can Eastleigh get it away? They can, up towards halfway. Zidane Sutherland is sprinting to keep that one in play, and he does. Back to his keeper Terrell, up against Quigley, manages to hit it forward. Is the offside flag going to go up? Langston deals with that, up towards halfway. McCallum brings it down, he turns. Can Eastleigh maybe catch Dover on the break? Charlie Carter, the goal scorer, does well to spin away from Dunn, and now Eastleigh are just going to knock this about, run down the clock, and I just don't know how much Dover have in their tank to keep on pressing them.
Offside.
Quigley's fed down the right hand side, the flag goes up, and now Dover will have another opportunity to maybe just get everyone towards the edge of the box and just boot it up there as a last gasp opportunity. Will there be FA Cup drama here, live on BBC Radio Solent? Terrell wants to play that again as McCallum's just on his haunches. I've just remembered that still no substitutions made by Eastleigh, and Paul McCallum has definitely felt something, and this is only going to add to the additional time. Dontai Stewart looks like he's going to be coming on for James Dunn.
Not good.
Another forward is being thrown into the fray. Signed at the end of the summer after a spell at Hertford Town. Yet to score so far. He's made 5 league appearances as Dontai Stewart, but if you're a forward, Mitch Brundle is just throwing everyone onto the pitch. But Paul McCallum does look like he's in a spot of bother. He's down in the centre circle. Richard Hill just giving some instructions, and I think it's Aidan Barlow's going to be coming on in Paul McCallum's place. Would it be maybe an option to have taken Paul McCallum off, your best player, in the final few minutes? I mean, you can never really predict when anyone's going to go down with an injury, but
I think he's struggling. It could be ankle or Achilles or calf, isn't it?
Paul McCallum is just being helped off the pitch by one of the medical staff. No goal for him, but he certainly put himself about. Struck the upright, the lovely swiveled left-footed shot late on in the second half. Aidan Barlow is going to be coming on. 10 appearances so far this season from the Manchester United Academy. 4 starts, but he'll be coming on just to provide a little bit of defensive cover. Can Eastleigh see this one out? No idea how much added time we're now going to have. Probably another good 2 or 3 minutes. I have to say, Scott Quigley wanted Sutherland's shirt there. Down the right, tries to get away from Oscar Rutherford. Does well, does Oscar Rutherford, and now clearance from Carter almost put his team in danger. Up towards halfway, Odgerman heads it away from Maguire. Oyenuga boots it towards the edge of the box, headed up and away by Panther. Carter does well to leap above his man, and now it's played down the left hand side. That's going to go out of play, throw to Dover. I'd have to say there's probably about 2 additional minutes left of this FA Cup tie. Terrell, who's really quite far out of his area. Oyenuga up against Carter, tries to just bend it down the right, collected in the area by Iffy Allen, turns away from his man towards the byline. It goes out of play, and he's won himself a corner. And Terrell wants to know from Brundle if he can go up for this one. He can. The keeper's coming up for this one. Drama in the FA Cup, Wayne.
Oh dear, 6'4", who's going to mark the keeper?
He just needs to remember not to catch it. Well, he's there. in yellow. He's not exactly difficult to miss, is Billy Terrell. Hasn't got a clean sheet, but it'd be amazing if he managed to get a goal before one of those. Can Eastleigh see this one out? Ball into the box by Oyenuga. Up goes Terrell with the header, and it's blocked in the 6-yard box, and Aidan Barlow will try and get it away down the right-hand side. Can he keep it in play? No, says the linesman, and they'll have another opportunity to maybe get the ball in the box from this throw. Is Terrell's going to stay up for this?
The keeper's headed it and everything. He's like...
Thrown back towards halfway. Odgerman, he's got to launch this, surely. He does. Terrell, it goes over him. Comes back out to Oyenuga. Full time still yet to come. Ball dinked into the box, and of course comes McDonald and claims it well. And surely that will be that. The whistle goes, and Eastleigh are in to the first round draw of the FA Cup. Dover, oh, they're bent on their haunches. Terrell is just, he can't quite believe it. He got ahead to it from the final corner of the game. What drama that would have been. But as it stands, it was Charlie Carter's goal with half an hour to go. That's the difference this afternoon. Despite the difference in league position, despite Eastleigh being very comfortable, it was just the one goal that separated the two sides. Wayne, they're into the first round, and in cup football, it doesn't matter if you thrash your opposition, just that you get the win.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Like you say, it's just a matter of being in the hat by hook or by crook. Yeah, they went down to 10 men. We huffed, we puffed, but again, mate, we've hit the woodwork 4 or 5 times. Their keeper's made a couple of great saves, but then so has Joe, right at death. He's kept us from a replay, and you know, fair play to them. They come, they give it a go, but I think we were bigger, we were stronger, all across the park. I think it was comfortable, apart from a few times where we were just like literally concentration, really, mate.
Eastleigh will be in tomorrow afternoon's FA Cup first round proper draw. That'll be on ITV, 2:30. Eastleigh will be ball 70 in that, so Spitfires fans, keep your eyes peeled for that. Who do you want in the next round? Do you want maybe an easier tie at the Silver Lake, a chance to get to the second round, maybe even push towards the third round proper? Or do you want a big away day, a Derby away, a Pompey away? Let Jordan Clark know back in the studio. Text 81333, start your message with the word Solent. On Twitter, currently known as X, at Solent Sport. On WhatsApp as well, get in touch. I'm going to go down to the touchline, get some reaction from Eastleigh boss Richard Hill. And Eastleigh have booked their place in the first round proper of the FA Cup. Full time here at the Silver Lake. It's 1-0 to the Spitfires, and now it's time to hand you to Cliff Pledge for the closing stages of AFC Totton versus Ramsgate.
We've had 3 minutes of the 6 played. 48 minutes, 20 seconds on my stopwatch. Hadler gets it forward. Tottenham play it up high. It's going to drop, and it's a good header won by Jack Paxman. They get it away. And Doug Bay's had a good game, touches it to Medialito. Red shirts of Ramsgate. Going forward, Maloney dispossesses him. That's a good tackle. We welcome listeners on all frequencies. Here, AFC Tottenham is placed in the FA Cup. Hangs by a thread. We've got about 2 minutes of added time. They are 1-0 down to Ramsgate. But here's Taylor in the area. He's gone down. The referee waves away the penalty shout. Taylor's throwing himself down to the ground again in disbelief. From here, Louis, I couldn't be sure. What was your take on that big late penalty shout for Tottenham?
I'm baffled it's not been given up. You know, credit to the ref if I've got this one wrong, but at the point in the game, it looked like a dead cert to me. It looked like he'd been shoved. He was in behind, about to get a shot off, or even a cross for a tap-in for one of the boys in the middle. They were outnumbered as well, Ramsgate. Magri was on the back stick. Barrows was there. They were ready to tap it in. I'm amazed that that's not been given. Again, referee, if you've got this right, I apologise, but from up here, it looked like a stonewall.
I thought there was a stonewall one in the first half. Tottenham haven't been at their best, but will be. Look at their misses. Since going behind to Joe Taylor's goal, they've thrown the kitchen sink at Ramsgate. They've hit the woodwork. They've had a penalty shout. It's not quite their day.
When you look at it, there's absolutely no reason for Taylor to go down there. He can cross the ball for a tap-in. Why would he go down there? Has to have been contact. It makes no sense to me from here.
Voice of Louis Langdown, former AFC Tottenham manager. Eastleigh through to the next round, 1-0 winners over Dover here. It looks like Ramsgate are going to cause a surprise of sorts. They're one league below AFC Totton. They lead 1-0 through Joe Taylor's goal. Taylor had a penalty saved in the first half by Lewis Noyce, the former Eastleigh goalkeeper. Looking at the clock now, looks like we're running it down. 30 seconds on my stopwatch as Ramsgate swap the throw-in taker into the area. Totton literally have seconds left to save. That is the final whistle here at the Snow Stadium, and it is AFC Totton departing the FA Cup and a victory for Ramsgate FC.